Hi, I'm Dasha. For years I've been working in a corporate career that looked great on paper, but inside I felt lost. Today I'm running my own private practice and helping people heal and grow. And if you're thinking about career change, especially later in your life, this video is for you. Where it all started, you might ask. I am 36 today, and just when I was 30, that was the time when I decided to shift. But I want to tell you what happened the years before. I was working as a business analyst and I was great in my job. I was in some way even enjoying it and enjoying the growth, enjoyed the promotions. But I always felt that the corporate world, corporate ladder, the competitiveness culture of these organizations, it just felt like it wasn't me. I felt like I was always putting some kind of mask, or I was performing a role to fit in. I've been always interested in self-development, in growth, in learning more about myself or about other people. So I thought that maybe something in education, maybe something in psychology, something that I might find much more interesting, much more aligned with my personal values or my character might fit better for me. So already working as a business analyst, I started looking for other degree to do, but I was so afraid and so scared, especially because I was coming up to my 30s and I thought that, gosh, who is changing career when you actually just started growing in your current career and started maybe getting some promotions and a good feedback. And yeah, being a young woman in a new country where I was trying to establish myself, where I was trying to just show and prove that I am a valued worker, a valued employee, I just thought that this is the craziest idea. But what really helped me is that very soon after my wedding, my husband said, why wouldn't we take a little sabbatical? Maybe like a break between 6 to 12 months. We can go traveling while we're still young. And I thought, you know what, that would be probably the best time for me to take a break from to step back from the corporate world and reconnect with myself, just feel myself more and understand actually what I want from this life. What are my values? You know, reconnecting with what's important or what's interesting for me without all the pressure of deadlines, of emails, the pressure cooker of the corporate world where you always need to be on, you always need to be switched on and alert without the burnout, without the stress. Yeah. So I thought, why not? Let's do that. I can always come back and find another job in a similar field. So this is what we did. We took a break. And if you've been maybe following my channel since 2017 or 2018, you saw some of the videos where we went traveling in Asia. We did some amazing things like Buddhist retreats or Ayurvedic programs. We explored Cambodia, Nepal, Bali in Indonesia, and then we spent some time with our families. So all this time kind of stepping away from the stress, I started more and more reconnecting with myself and thinking that, yeah, going and studying wouldn't be such a scary idea, because what? I'm only 30, not that I'm already 30, I'm only 30. And how many more years of my life do I want to dedicate to a career where I don't feel myself, or where I am changing myself to fit into something? Like, I want to be myself, I want to be authentic, I want to live the life and enjoy it, and I want to enjoy the work I do. And actually I wanted to feel the purpose, or maybe even have a mission in something I do. So yeah, that's how I made that shift, I think, in mentality. I thought, okay, if it's psychology, how many years? And that was very important for me. You know, how many years do I need to dedicate to studies and, you know, all the programs and practices and placement, supervision. So yeah, how many years from kind of day one when I need to enroll to when I can start working? Because yes, time and financials were two important factors for me choosing choosing new pathway. And I didn't really want to spend too much time. I discovered that the psychology pathway in Australia is actually quite long. I would need to study 4 to 5 years, starting from zero, starting from bachelor degree, and then I would have to do a placement and a supervision, which requires quite a big financial investment. So I found something in between that worked for me. I found a degree in counselling, which in Australia is different from psychology. You study shorter time, it's way more client-centered, and it gives you all the skills and knowledge that you need, so you can start working with clients within 2 or 3 years. The program was a postgraduate degree. I could apply for the degree already with my first economics. I had a Master of Economics, and I started studying. When I got back to Australia, I enrolled and started studying postgraduate diploma in counselling. I only needed probably 20-25 hours a week to study, so I could keep my not full-time job. I actually worked for 4 days a week. So for about 1.5 years, I still had a corporate job on the side, but already it felt different going to work and working, because I knew I'm working on something else. And when the time came to do my placement, I was choosing what field do I want to do that. And there were so many opportunities and internships within a drug and alcohol field. We call it AOD, alcohol and other drugs, in Australia. And I found a placement, which I was very happy, in a smaller organization in a project of men rehabilitating after addiction. It was called a transitional program, where they were going after rehabs and transitioning into society. So we were helping these men to rebuild their life and found their new purpose and found jobs. So I was doing my placement. It was 2020, just before the COVID started, just before COVID hit the world. I started it in January 2020. And that placement also changed my life. When I entered it, I only had the theory, but I started practicing 1 day a week. I started working with clients, supporting through case management, supporting them through counseling, and it was an amazing experience, because just in 1 day, I almost transformed from my corporate job into actually working with people, working in mental health and working as a counselor. Long story short, amazing thing happened. Opportunity came up with an organization, and in 4 months they offered me a case manager role working with them. In 1 day I resigned from my corporate job and I went full-time into mental health field, all during COVID, all during when the world was shutting down. My transition was actually not as smooth and slow. It just happened in 1 day. In the past 4.5 years after my graduation, I worked in multiple organizations and in different fields, which I'm very grateful for. After my experience in a rehabilitation program, I went and worked in a mental health private clinic, which was an inpatient clinic where people were staying for about 21 days, 3 weeks program, and we counselors were supporting them with group therapy, with individual therapy, which was also a very interesting experience, very valuable and useful to see how private hospitals work here. And later I worked in community-based organizations. I worked supporting refugees and asylum seekers, supporting them through a hotline. Specifically, that hotline was designed to support Ukrainians that arrived escaping war in Ukraine, and they arrived to Australia. And then for 3 years I worked in a community organization working with women who were affected by domestic and family violence and sexual assault. Yes, so this is my journey. Now we are in 2025, and since January I moved fully into my private practice. I've been working slowly building my private practice on the side because I was holding part-time jobs before. So my last community job was 3 days a week. So 2 days a week I was already building my clientele. I was working on women's circles in Sydney. I started doing women's retreats. So I kind of felt like, okay, 2025, a new year. I think it's the good time to fully move into working on my own business. This is where I am now in my journey. So yes, from 2018 to enrolling into my degree to 2025, almost 7 days late, 7 days, I wish it would be 7 days. 7 years later, I'm running my own business, I'm running my private practice, and I am enjoying it. Enjoying my work, I'm enjoying my life. I feel like I'm way more authentic. I feel like I'm living according to my dreams and aligned with my personal values and my growth. And I can honestly say that I do see myself in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, hopefully 40 years. I can still see myself working in mental health, supporting people. Of course, there are so many opportunities and possibilities, the way how I can transform my career. And yes, it is a risk. It is a financial risk. Maybe it is not for everyone. And I thought I wasn't that person that would be taking risks. But slowly and slowly, when you're making these steps, the courage, the confidence comes to you naturally. And I hope this story will be a motivation, will be an encouragement if you are deciding your career change. I'm always happy to answer questions about my journey if you have more. I'm not sure if I covered everything. I really wanted to share it because I feel that there are so many people who are there behind this camera. Maybe if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, maybe you're thinking about the change. So I would say just don't wait. There is never a perfect time. There is never a perfect time when you can do that. So just start small, and maybe in 2 years and 4 years and 5 years, you can be living a completely different life, a life that is aligned with your values, aligned with your dreams, aligned with your authenticity, and you can do that. You can do it already today. Thanks for watching if you got to this point with me. Bye, see you until the next videos.